Hello everybody, it is Budrich and it's a new episode of Let's Linux that I call Polymedia video title. Let's do the PBK also, PBK Polymedia video title. And you know what we are going to do if you have watched the previous episodes. If you haven't, I think I will recommend you to do that, because this will continue where we left off in the last episodes, where we have started to build a media title module in our polybar that displays, right now it displays the currently playing track. If I change track, it changes the title here. If I pause the track, it changes the color of the track, and if I play it again, it goes back to white. In this video, we will add some things so it will also display the currently playing video in MPV. And I have tried to record this video a couple of times now, and every time I realize that I have forgot something or whatever. I hope I get it right now, because we actually have to do quite a lot of small little things to get this working. First, let's open some video file. Right here, bud, let's just take one here. Open a video, and I have added a rule in my i3 config, so the windows are floating and are displaying the original MPV title here. Normally I have a movie spawn here in the B container where I have CMOS playing. But this is just because we have to see the window title. So this is how an MPV window looks like, the title at least. It says the file name, it says a dash and an MPV. And we will somehow use this title, send that to our Polymedia title script, which is the same script that CMOS executes when the player changes the status. If we, for example, switch track, or if we play and pause, it executes this script with a series of arguments, and those arguments are then formatted and redirected to a file, OP file here, which is Polymedia output, this file. So this is how it looks like, and then when we have written that to the file, we ping our media title hook in polybar that will cut out the content of this file. So we will use the same script here, but instead of sending things from CMOS, we will send the title from MPV to this script. But right now the title is, we have to make some changes to the title itself. I will close MPV here now. You can easily do this by, let's go back to that video folder, and I have that folder open here in my terminal. I can do an ls, so this is the same content as I have here. And I can open a video here with extreme i3. That, and now it opens that video here. I close this window and we can see the title. We can customize the title in MPV with the option title, and then equal, and then I suggest you use single quotes here, and then you can write my custom title and open the same video, and this time we can see it has my custom title. That's quite a useless title to use here. Wait now. Never mind. There are some, you can use properties, they call it in MPV. I will not explain this too much, but for example, you can write file name, just like in Bash, with a dollar brace and then file name here. That will display the content of that property in MPV in the title here now. So if I run it, it will almost look the same as the default, displaying the file name. And we could, if we wanted to, have the file name and some custom stuff here, and then it will display file name, then custom. But there are other properties we can display. For example, there's one that is called pause. Let's do some things like that. Now it's getting interesting. Now it says no here, because this video is not paused, and then 3 dashes here, those means nothing, and then the file name. If I pause the video, it changes the title to yes, because pause is yes. And these two things are basically all we need to create a nice output looking with the same style as from CMOS. So let's quit this first, and then one thing now is that if I would open a file from here, the file manager or some other place, now it has the default title. To make this option persistent, you can edit mpv's settings file, which is located in your home folder .config/mpv/mpv.conf is the name of the config file. If it doesn't exist, then you can just create this file. And here you can add any options that you would like to be persistent and used every time you launch MPV. So the option was called title, but in this option file you write the options just like you do on the command line, but without the leading dashes. So you just write title, and then we could write file name, or let's write pause here first. Pause, and then file name, just leave it like that. Now if I open a file from thunar, for example, it should have this new formatting, no CMOS MKV. Changes when I play pause. That's step 1. CMOS, when that activates or executes our status display script here, Polymedia title, it execute this script with a bunch of arguments, and those arguments look something like this. I talked a lot about this in the last video, but the first argument is always status, and that is all playing, or it can be paused, or it can be stopped, and it's the status of the player. The second argument is most of the time file, and then the file name. And then if the track is tagged, it contains like artist and the artist name and so on. But remember, if the track wasn't tagged, then we created a title by formatting just the file name. So we actually only need the file name here and the status of the track from MPV, but we need it in this format. We need to write status, and then the second argument should be the actual status. The third argument should be the word file, and the fourth argument should be the file name. So it should look something like this: status file. Save there, open a video. And now we see status no, file CMOS MKV. Pause, status yes, file CMOS setup MKV. Okay. That's good for now. So how do we execute our Polymedia title script with when MPV gets focus and is created, and when the title changes? Of course, we use our listener script here, and I have created. You see, this is basically all we will cover in this video. It's a lot of things. So here I've add some rules to the Python listener script. My listener script is called i3listen.py. We have used this in many videos in this series, and here you can add functionality, because this script, it runs in the background all the time, and every time a window event occurs in i3, it will look in this function here. And then I can set specific actions to happen on specific events. For example, if a window gets focus, then I want to do something. If the title of a window changes, I want to do something. If a window is closed, I want to do something else, for example. We can start here with focus and title, where we will enter my custom function here, like this. And we also add this to if the title changes, because then this will get executed when you know the title changed when I played and paused. That changed the title of the window, and then this will happen. It will execute movie title here, which is a function that I have created. It's in Python in this script here, and it will pass the event.container.name to that function, and that this is equal to the window title. Let's create the function. I have that also here, and we define the function. We can do it somewhere near the top of the script here, and the function looks like this. Movie title takes one argument that we call title, and then we do an if here, just if title, meaning that if this argument is empty, then it will not execute this part. But if it isn't empty, it will execute this, which is calling the Polymedia title script and appending the title as arguments to Polymedia title, and split the title on spaces. So each word in the title will be an argument to Polymedia title. So if I save here now and do a PBR, and that's my polybar reload script, which also reloads my listener script. If I open MPV now, you can see that the title here changed, but we have a gray color, but it actually says here CMOS setup, which is the file name here. I think we should start fixing this so it displays the right color. If I pause here, nothing happens. I close, and then we have no title at all here. We will fix everything here, but we start with the coloring. We can look here at how I applied this gray color. We did it in the last video. We checked if the status, which is the status field of the arguments, if that is playing, then it prefixed the output with this gray color. But if it isn't playing, it's grayed. If it is playing, then we prefixed it with the default foreground color. But we can see here playing, when I run MPV, we can see that status is no or yes. It's a different format here with MPV. It doesn't say playing or paused or anything. So one way we can do this is to, instead of using this, we do a regular expression check here to see if the status is playing or no. Though those two things mean basically the same thing. And then we also have to negate this expression, because remember we wanted to do this if this wasn't true. Now exclamation mark, it negates the expression here, meaning that this test will be true if this is false, if the status doesn't contain playing or no. So if I save here and open MPV again, now it is white, because playing is no. If I would pause here, it grays out, because now it changes title, and the i3 listen script will execute this again, but then this will be true and the color will be gray. So now this already works. Next thing we could look at is maybe we should start with this. Yeah, I think so. This file name, it's cmus_setup, but it's not uncommon that especially video files and audio files and stuff like that might have spaces in the file names. And if I would have that, and open this file now. Now it only says CMOS here, and that is because the i3 listener script, it split the title on each space, and that will mean that the status variable in our Polymedia here will only contain, or the file variable will only contain the first word there. Setup is like a separate argument, but we would like all of the file name to be one argument. So we need to separate them on something else other than spaces. This is one way to do it. There are other ways, I'm sure. Let's close this video first. Instead of adding space here to the custom mpv title format, I add pipe symbols. You should take a symbol or character that isn't common in the file name. Now if I open CMOS setup here, we can see that the title looks like this. But now we get nothing in our hook module here, and that is because now all of this is read as one argument, and this is the second argument. This is easy fixed in our listener script. Instead of splitting the title on spaces, we now split on pipe symbols. So each word between each pipe will be treated as one word or one argument. And now I just have to reload the listener script again, open the video file, and now it says CMOS status even if the title contains spaces. So that's one fix that we needed to do before anything else. Next up, I think now you see when I close the video, it displays nothing here. We should make it revert to the CMOS status. Actually, I think I might have forgotten that inside here. Close. Yeah, here it is. Let's remove this. This is how it should look, or this is easier to understand what's going on. Now CMOS is playing Brant Bjork here. I open a video. It should change the title to the video title, and when I close this video, reload here also. We do it again. Playing some Brant Bjork, opening a video, video title displays, closing the video, nothing happens because i3 and Polybar doesn't know anything has happened. So we need to add, you saw I removed it here, I have an event when a window closes, and if that window is mpv, then I want to do something special. And what I want to do is to display the CMOS status again. One way we can do this is to, if I execute this Polymedia title here, let's play a song, and then I execute Polymedia title from command line without any arguments, then nothing will get displayed here because there are no arguments to translate and evaluate here, so it will just be a blank line that gets written to the Polymedia output here. Looks like this. But we could add here, if the script would get executed without any arguments, then we will take information from CMOS and create our own variables, kind of. And CMOS, you can execute CMOS remote with a capital Q. Then you get a list of stuff going on in CMOS for the moment. And we can use this output to create our variables. We can see these are basically the fields that we will need. I will paste those here and comment them out. So at the top of the script here, we make a test if $pound symbol, same as we have here. If the number of arguments is equal to 0, then we will use the output of CMOS remote -Q and create our own variables. So we can do something like this. I will just type a bunch of things here and explain it when I am done. CMOS remote Q, pipe that to AWK, check if $1 is equal to status. If it is, print underscore status equals \quote $2. $1 is equal to file $1 is equal to nothing. I can do this. Print file equals \quote $0 quote ding. And then we have tag and artist and title, and they look something like if $1 is equal to tag and $2 is equal to artist, then $1 is equal to $2, which is equal to nothing. Print underscore artist is equal to \quote $0 quote close. Duplicate that line, replace artist with title. Oops. Title. Okay. And then we end that AWK statement, and then I will exit the script here. Just for... And let's now, if I execute Polymedia title without any arguments, it will do this thing because this test will be true. So we can see what happens. Oops. Polymedia title. It outputs this. Status underscore status is equal to playing underscore file is equal to quote space file. And here artist space space Bud Powell. Title space space whale. And we need to remove these leading spaces here. And those are because, you know, file, yeah, it contains, I can't use like $2 here to populate the file. I add the whole line except $1, which I have replaced with nothing here. But when I do so, then we could see something like this. If I would remove file or replace it with a blank string, then it will still be a space here in $0, which is the whole line. So to remove any leading spaces, and here in artist and title, I replace both $1 is equal to $2 is equal to nothing. And that would mean that it would look something like this. So it will be 2 leading spaces here. So we have to remove all leading spaces from $0 before we print it. We could do something like this. Sub, or no, we do it in each of these instead. Sub, that is an AWK function that substitutes a string for some other string. The string we want to substitute is all leading spaces, which you could write like this. It's a regular expression, and that means this circumflex means from the beginning of what we're searching for. Here we just have blank space, all, and star means repeat the previous character, which is space. So all leading spaces will be replaced by nothing in $0. And then we need to add this to all of these here. I know it's a bit messy, this script, but now we have removed the leading spaces. But it just prints out this and then exit the script. If I instead would do an eval here, like we do with the while loop, I explained this in the last video, so you can look at that if you don't remember. I put this output, formatted output, in a subshell like this and use that output to evaluate. Remove this exit. Now if I execute this, we shouldn't see anything. But if I... And also, this is what happens when we execute Polymedia title here, this script, without any arguments. So let's do that in our listener script. When a window closes, if that window is mpv, then we don't execute movie title, but we call Polymedia title, and for some reason you need to add this split thing here, like that. Save, reload my polybar. Now if I open a video, changes the title to the video title. It works when I play and pause. It toggles the color. If I close this video, then it should call Polymedia title without any arguments, and that will get the currently playing track, if it is any, from CMOS. We could extend this a bit to see if maybe sometimes you open a video and CMOS isn't running at all, then you would probably just get a blank line here, but let's leave it here for now. Another thing that I want to add to this is that when I look here now, I'm playing music here, Bud Powell, it's playing. When I open MPV, it's also playing, but the music keeps on playing here. And the music keeps on playing. So now I have two sources playing audio at the same time. Very annoying. Of course I could just pause the music like that. Two problems here. First, I have to always do that. Every time I open a video, if the music is playing, then I want to pause it. Like this is, we have a problem here that we can easily translate to script and make it automatic. But the second thing is that when I pause the music, that will execute the status display program and change the title here. I think we would rather have it keep on playing or displaying our MPV title. So let's do that. To do that, I think we can handle all of it from our Polymedia title script here. We need to know two things. First, if it is MPV that is calling this Polymedia title, well, it is the listener script, but if it is with MPV information, if it is, then it should also see if CMOS is playing or if it is paused. If it is playing, then it should pause the player. And we can know if it is MPV or CMOS. Remember, it have different status formatting. And CMOS displays playing or paused, the full words, but CMOS only displays no or yes. So we can just do something like if status contains yes or no, then it is MPV, and then we need to see if CMOS is playing or if it is paused. Then we could actually use this same evaluation that we did here, but only check for the status. So we can remove most of these lines. Only the status, and we can actually do this to save a couple of milliseconds, we exit the AWK here as soon as it has found the status. And actually we don't, since it's only one value, it's a bit overkill to do an eval here. So we don't need this. We only print $2 here, which is the status of CMOS. And then we exit, and then instead of using eval, we can create a variable here called CMOS status or something, and that is equal to the status of CMOS if it finds this value. And this will only get executed when it is MPV that is playing, and these things are very fast. It's not like I'm not bloating things here. Then if this status, if that is equal to playing, then we want to pause CMOS. So if CMOS status is equal to playing, then CMOS remote -- pause. And that should pause CMOS if it is playing. Let's test this. I'm playing now music in CMOS. I open a video. The playback paused, but we get the title of CMOS here because when we send this CMOS remote pause, it will trigger a status change, and that will trigger this script again. It will kind of queue up. So as soon as it is have displayed the MPV title, it will display the CMOS title. And I have found a little dirt hack here to fix this. What we do is that as soon as we have paused the music here, we refocus MPV, and that will yet again trigger our listener script and queuing up MPV here to display that title. I know now it's getting a bit tricky here, but whatever. And this refocusing thing, I just recently came up with it, and I posted it on the i3 Reddit subreddit. We can look at that really quick here. Here I have it. I call it Refocus here, the thread, and it's just a one-line thing here. I have actually created a script. I will add this to the show notes that I call conveniently Refocus. Kill the container with the ID of a new empty container. So this will basically create a new container, take the container ID of that, and use that ID as the criteria for a window that it wants to kill. So this means it will create an empty container really fast and kill it as soon as it exists. So you should never experience this function. But what that does is that it will create a new container, and when then that container is destroyed, then the last window having focus will get focused again. So it will kind of blink a window. I have actually bound this to a hotkey so I can refocus windows, and you can see they blink here, and that is because I use this flash focus thing. That's why I did this. But I noticed that there are other use cases, and this is actually one of those use cases. Because we pause CMOS here, and that will trigger the status program, which is this again, and display CMOS title. But if we would refocus here, and here when it reaches this point in the script, this is only true if MPV is playing. So and this is only true if CMOS is playing while MPV gets focus here. So it's almost 100% sure that MPV has focus, so a refocus should refocus MPV, and by doing that it should update the title once again to the MPV status. So let's try this. I play music, I open a video, and you see it displays the video title and it paused the music. And when I exit MPV here, it displays CMOS information. But CMOS is paused, and I like it like this. You could extend this to start playing the music when CMOS or MPV quits, but that's I promise you, I've tried it and it's very annoying. Sometimes, you know, you watch a movie in the middle of the night, you maybe even fall asleep while watching it, and then it ends and some weird Swedish black metal starts playing like 2 a.m. You don't want that. Okay, I think I covered what I wanted here. I hope you followed. All the files will be on GitHub and in the show notes and stuff like that. But it's I really like this, and the thing is, now in this video I have created a rule to spawn the windows floating, but I like them to have them in the B container here, and then it really makes sense with this title formatting like this. In the next video we will wrap all this up, so we can also, because now if I fire up my toggle play pause key binding here, that will play the music in CMOS actually. I would like it to play and pause. If I have a video open like I have now, I would like it to control MPV. But if, yeah, we will make some cool things so it will automatically know which player to control when we use our key bindings. And that will be the last in the series, this little Polymedia series. I say thank you for watching the Let's Linux series. Yes, I am Budrich. You like and subscribe and have a great day. Bye bye.